Back in October, Derby's Lee Carsley had the misfortune to register an own goal in Arsenal's 2-1 victory. But today he has the chance to make amends, especially as he's been given a man-to-man marking job on Dennis Bergkamp. Arsenal's modern master craftsman was how the Dutchman was described on the radio this morning by the Gunners' former Cup hero Charlie George, who played for both clubs. But if Derby have devised a way of curtailing Bergkamp's influence, they won't have to worry about the midfield presence of Vieira, who is suspended, or Petit, who's still injured. Ray Parlour, who took that infamous throw-in the last round here, moves away from the touchline in today's formation, and the 21-year-old Swede Fredrik Ljungberg makes his first appearance since he was injured in December. And after their spirited draw at nearby Tottenham last week, Derby are forced into changes. Carbonari and Dorigo are injured, Bohinen absent because his wife's expecting, but Igor Stimac is back from suspension, Darryl Powell returns on the ground where he last scored for Derby, and Jim Smith boldly goes with three out-and-out strikers, Sturridge joining up with Wanchope and Burton. In his 30 years of management, the Derby boss has never been closer to the FA Cup final than he was here at Highbury 7 years ago, when his Portsmouth side led Liverpool 3 minutes from the end of extra time, but eventually lost on penalties in a replay. Steve Dunn is the referee for the only sixth-round FA Cup tie now being played today. Arsenal the holders from left to right in the first half. Derby in a change strip of amber shirts and blue shorts. Hughes with the first forward ball for Arsenal, then with the sliding challenge. Now Paulo Wanchope early on for Derby. And Sturridge on this side of the penalty area, hoping to get in behind Dixon, who headed it back. No question that Derby are playing with a front three. Burton, Wanchope and Sturridge all pushed up. That's a free kick, much to Bergkamp's displeasure. It's Aranio who was fouled. And it was Bergkamp here who came in from the side, won the ball in fairness to him, but seems to have caught Aranio accidentally on the head with his boot. Pretty certain there was no intent there on Bergkamp's part. That's unfortunate for Aranio so early in the game, less than 4 minutes gone. And Jim Smith already looking concerned. It's a free kick to Derby, and Stimac is forward here. Wanchope on this side, heads it back in. This is Parlour at the other end for Arsenal, trying to get away from Schnoor. Aranio. And Wanchope's lost that one as well. You just don't know what he's going to do, the Derby number 9. I don't think some of the other players on his side do either. This is Powell. Schnoor there. Got away from Ljungberg, and Wanchope's now playing over on the right. Aranio looking up. It's a decent ball, and Sturridge is coming in here for Derby, and Wanchope with a chance to turn and shoot. And it's the first real goal attempt of the game after 13 minutes, and it's Paulo Wanchope. Didn't get a lot of power into it in all fairness, but Derby here moved well, despite the player falling over. It's a header back by Sturridge, and Wanchope just testing seaman. Parlour just overran that slightly, tackled by Wanchope, and then Bergkamp taken out by Carsley. Oh dear, that's the man-to-man marking job taken very literally indeed. And Dennis Bergkamp is down, and one or two Arsenal players remonstrating with Lee Carsley. This is it. Oh, he takes the ball. There's no complaint surely there. Derby have come here with a very definite game plan, which they were working on in training earlier this week. And that's Oranio who gets taken out there. That's a bad foul. And it's going to be a booking, I think, for Winterburn. Steve Dunn has gone to his notebook for that challenge. Here's Wanchop. Burton's in there. Oh, and Powell gets the shot in. It's a deflection. It's a corner. It's a corner to Derby. Daryl Powell didn't hit that at all badly. Headed down by Wanchop. Comes off Burton, and then it flicks off another player. It may have been a Derby player that deflected it, but referee clearly thinks it's Arsenal. It's a corner. Pryor is up here, number 17 on the near post. And Steemat's number 6 has his arms up as well. Pryor gets a flick on it, and an Arsenal player was also there, so it's another corner. Keown, I think, got the last touch. Steemat's arriving now. One shot is there also, and it's Overmars who comes away for Arsenal, and they're sprinting out here, 4, 5, 6 red shirts, and Overmars knows it's really on here, and he's going alone. The shot came back off Pryor. This is Dixon to Parlour. Shakes off Sturridge, not the second time. That was an exciting break by Overmars. Really took on, well, he must have gone more than half the length of the field. Arsene Wenger and Pat Rice, having masterminded a double last year, they know that at this stage Arsenal are still very much in both competitions this year. Parlour's shot! Oh, that took a slight deflection if I'm not mistaken. At least it looked like it from here. The referee's given a goal kick. But there was space for Parlour there. It was a deflection, but it was by Anelka, so the goal kick is the right decision. Job. Adams challenge. Powell now. Derby had a man over on that side for a moment. Overmars forced to go back and help, but now he's in possession. And this is where he can be so lethal, Overmars. Just look at the way. Oh, taken from behind by Jakob Laursen. And that's going to be another yellow card. Overmars, when he gets speed up in that position, is going to threaten any defence, and here Laursen, his marker, comes across him from the far side, stretching for the ball, taking the man. It's a free kick to Arsenal, and Hughes hits it. Well, set up for the left footer. Stephen Hughes with another chance today in the absence of Vieira and Petit. I think Russell Holt had it covered though. One shot coming in behind Keown. Oh, and Keown has headed the ball over his own goalkeeper, but he's got time to collect his own back pass. Moment of alarm for Arsenal. And Derby aren't finished here yet. This is Dion Burton. Well, a bit more pace on that, we would have had an own goal. Here's Pryor though. Anelka beat him, and he's off now with Bergkamp ahead of him. On this side is Ljungberg. Here's Bergkamp. Can Carsley get to him to force him out? Well, in fairness to Bergkamp, wasn't quite the usual quality of his first touch. He applauds the pass. Martin Keown, what on earth was happening there between him and Seaman? The ball bouncing in front of Wanchop. Keown heads it precisely over his own goalkeeper, but because there's not too much pace on the ball, there he is to collect it in the 6-yard box. Now Hughes. Well, he was looking up when Sturridge nearly got to him. Ball by Keown to Hughes. He's got Winterburn going outside him. 3 the other way for Arsenal. Here's Overmars. Ray Parlour! Oh, that nearly knocked Russell Holt over. Good strike by Parlour. Holt responding, but there was real power in it. And it was driven with swerve as well. Adams is forward and so is Keown here. Neither of them got that, but Hughes did. Overmars. Adams stays up. Keown! And again, Parsley's challenge. Bit of a scramble, and still Tony Adams hangs around as Dixon plays it into Parlour. Winterburn. That's a bit short, and one chop's away. One chop is away for Derby. Sturridge to his left. Burton's there. Aranio's coming up, and one chop. What a terrible waste. They really were there. 4 against 3, Derby. And one shot couldn't pick out a colleague. This was a real break for him because Arsenal gave the ball away. Hughes and Winterburn, and Parlour trying to get across. One shot's come inside him, but then he's lost the plot. Oh, what a brilliant turn by Overmars. That was breathtaking. And he was fouled by Steemats. Well, that was a startling piece of skill by Overmars. Absolutely wonderful turn away from Aranio. And then over came Steemats to bundle him down. This is Dixon. Rides the challenge. Steemats comes in again. And they're facing up to each other here, and it's not very amicable, and Steemats and Anelka are in trouble. Slight holding to start with, then Anelka gets upset, then Steemats answers back, and Steve Dunn still isn't happy. In fact, he's gone to his pocket now. It's a yellow card here. It looks like Anelka for continuing the debate. This is Dixon. Oh, it was Ljungberg. One of the better efforts of the half, which has been spasmodic really in terms of incident. But that ball, not the easiest one to take on the half volley, and he curls the shot just onto the roof of the net. And this is Ljungberg. Overmars coming in behind. That's Powell. Oh, and it's played back towards one shot by Aranio, but half-time arrives with no score, and the reaction of the crowd reflects it's been a frustrating 50 minutes, this. Dennis Bergkamp, man-marked from the very start by Lee Carsley. That was Derby's game plan, and so far it's worked for them. They've restricted Bergkamp's influence by his standards in the same way that scoring chances on both sides have been restricted. And indeed, the referee has been a somewhat busier man than one or two of the forwards. At the start of the second half, Nelson Vivas, who scored the winner against Derby in that Worthington Cup tie back in October at Pride Park, is on for Arsenal, and he's there in place of Stephen Hughes. Derby, who start the second half, have only been in the FA Cup final once since the war, and that was, I must admit, when the commentator was still in his pram back in 1946, the first final after the war. Derby beat Charlton. Arsenal have been in 9 post-war finals since then. But It was a famous old Derby team, Rach Carter and Peter Doherty. Wonderful names from that early post-war period. The modern Derby side holding the holders here halfway through this quarter-final. Now here is the substitute, Vivas, who played, of course, for Argentina against England in the World Cup. Now samples a very English occasion in the FA Cup. Here's Dion Burton, giving that away. Bergkamp looking for Anelka. Pryor is the defender. Goal kick, good decision by Steve Dunn. Definitely came off Anelka last. Charlie George, who can forget his contribution to Arsenal's cup history, now works here as a matchday host, but he's also fondly remembered by the Derby fans because he had some good years there after he left Highbury. Schnur. And here comes David Seaman. Overmars. Anelka and Bergkamp both to his right, takes on Stiemac, takes on Lawson, still Overmars! Imaginative attempt at the end of a twisting run. And Overmars, who's scored in every round of the Cup so far, including the 2 matches against Sheffield United, threatening there to do so again. He's as usual, a deep starting position, but not afraid to go on and on and on. And that wasn't far away, the curler. In fact, if he scored in every round, including the final, I think the last man to do that was Peter Osgood back in 1970. Adams, a solid challenge on Burton. This is Anelka. Ljungberg. Vivas. To Winterburn. And Overmars. Oh, and Ljungberg arrived, but Schnur saw the danger. He it was who conceded the corner, for which Keown and Adams are on their way forward now. Overmars will take it. The flick on by Ljungberg, and Anelka's in the crowd. It's coming out to Ray Parlour. And that goes through the crowd and wide. Parlour, who'll be 26 tomorrow. Looking for a bit of a birthday present here, but Holt again, I think, had his post covered. Really needs something to open the game up here. Ljungberg has threatened once or twice to do that. Derby are sticking very close to their game plan, and now they've got an injury, and it's Carsley, the man who's at the very heart of how they've planned the game today. The marker of Bergkamp, who's gone down injured. This would upset Derby's system if he had to go off. Bergkamp perhaps hopes he does. Happened down here in the corner when Lawson was trying to hold off Ljungberg, and Carsley came in as the second man. And seems to get accidentally caught here, possibly by Ljungberg's foot. Yes. So for the moment, Bergkamp is a free man. Vivas. Parlour. This is Dixon. Hands to that, or one hand. It's a corner to Arsenal with Carsley still off the pitch. Lee Dixon with the shot, fizzing along the ground. Now Carsley back on as Arsenal take the corner. Adams is up. Seemed to be too far away from that, the Arsenal captain. Jim Smith now down within shouting distance. His blueprint has worked so far. This is Sturridge. It would have worked better, actually, if Derby had made the most of a couple of breaks they've had, but Sturridge, Wanchope and Burton have once or twice tossed away very good positions. This is Vivas. Bergkamp. And he's made room this time! He only needs half a yard, and on that occasion he got it from Carsley. It's a one-against-one again, but just opened it up there slightly, Bergkamp. Good effort. And Carsley can't quite get to him on this occasion. And Arsenal are making a substitution. Off goes Frederick Ljungberg. Kanu comes on. The Nigerian international who was signed from Inter Milan. And in the last cup tie, or the last cup round, of course, it was his run that created the circumstances against Sheffield United, which caused a replay. And here's Ray Parlour, who was also involved in that incident, and he's done well there. This is Bergkamp. Kanu. Bergkamp. Anelka! Couldn't steer the header away from the goalkeeper. And Bergkamp here. A lovely little ball, drifted in beyond Pryor. But Derby survive. That's a foul by Sturridge on Winterburn. It was late, and we're going to have another yellow card. Anelka, meantime, reflects on a miss. He's been putting the ball away so well recently. Sturridge smiling at the referee, but it won't alter the fact that he's being carded. 38,000 people inside Highbury, and Arsene Wenger will know that this is the sort of difficult cup tie many of them were expecting. Here's Powell. That was well done by Kanu. He's found Vivas. Anelka to the right. You say these names and you realise what a truly international team Arsenal have become. It's like the League of Nations out there. But it's the English prize of the FA Cup they're effectively playing for, or playing towards. Here's Vivas. And there's Bergkamp. Trying to... Anelka hits the post and away by Stimats. The closest Arsenal have been. Anelka can't quite believe it. Bergkamp shook off Carsley for a moment here, well, sufficiently to give Anelka a shooting chance. He hits the post, and then it's cleared by Stimats. Parlour to Vivas. Tried to get Overmars in. Here's Winterburn to Parlour. To all Arsenal at the moment. Has been for most of the second half. Kanu, Dixon's joined the attack. Lee Dixon with a screamer. Well, Dixon coming up to 500 appearances for Arsenal, and he's certainly fed his way into the attack cleverly at times today. Picks this one up from Kanu. Bergkamp moves away, leaving room for the shot from Dixon. It's Larson who looks for Wanchope here. Arsenal had two men to challenge him. This is Kanu. And there goes Ray Parlour in a familiar position. There are three to his left. Anelka, Bergkamp and Overmars here. Overmars. Russell Holt saved it. Scrambling down to his left from Overmars. It's a corner to Arsenal. But Parlour here makes all the play. He's got good support. Overmars stretching the goalkeeper. Corner. Plays it back to Dixon. It's too long for Tony Adams and for Vivas. There's going to be another change by Arsenal. We're going to see Diawara, as Overmars pulls another save out of the goalkeeper. That's the last contribution Overmars will make. He's off, and Arsene Wenger using his other recent forward signing, the French under-21 striker Kaba Diawara, who came from Bordeaux in January. Can he unlock the door, I wonder? Derby just can't get out of their own half for long enough to make a real impression up front. This is Winterburn to Diawara. It's a promising run, and not a bad cross either. And Holt stretching, this is Kanu. And Bergkamp's coming in here, side netting. Diawara worked very hard on the left there. Kanu was also involved. And Arsenal seek still to open up this Derby defence. Diawara's cross. Holt was struggling a bit there, really. Kanu retrieved it far side, and then Bergkamp sneaked in on the far post from him to hit the side netting. And the Derby fans down to the right, or at the clock end, celebrating early. Jim Smith's team very close here to a replay against the holders. Adams. Aranio. Careless. But he's got a second chance. That's Kanu. Winterburn. Vivas. Looking for Bergkamp. Anelka's coming in far side. Bergkamp looks at the referee, who doesn't respond, and it's Powell for Derby. Well, Jim Smith is very animated down there on the touchline. He knows he's within touching distance of a very good result. Arsene Wenger's also standing as we enter the last couple of minutes. Bergkamp. And he's away, and Anelka's waiting in the middle. And it's come off Pryor and Holt between them. Not sure who called who, but Derby kept the ball out from Bergkamp's cross. It's a close one, this, because he gets down to the line almost, and it's Pryor really who clears. It's a corner to Arsenal. Adams forward again. Keown is up. This is Adams. This is Keown. Oh, and a chance there, and it's there. Kanu. They've scored in the very last minute. Would you believe it? As the corner comes in, it's first of all Adams, then it's Keown, and then Kanu turns, and the Nigerian here, having come on as a substitute, has swept the ball past Holt. There was an appeal here by Derby, whether it was for offside or handball, but Kanu has scored in the 90th minute, and Derby's cut through. They've gone across to the linesman. They're all appealing, the Derby players, that when the ball was knocked forward the last time, there may have been an offside, and Steve Dunn's gone across, and there's a yellow card been shown, and a red card, and one of the Derby protesters is off. It's Sturridge. A red card for protesting. Sturridge is off, having previously been yellow carded. He continued the protest to the linesman, and it's all gone wrong for Derby in the 90th minute. Kanu, who made headlines of a different sort in the last round when he ran on from the throw-in and made the goal against Sheffield United, has scored a goal here of what might prove to be just as great significance. There's 3 minutes of time to be added on, but Derby here, having held out for so long, you'd really think now that was it. Bergkamp. And they're appealing about a back pass there, Arsenal, but players gone on. Sturridge sent off, Derby down to 10 men, a goal behind. They waited so long for it. The holders look as if they're going into the semi-final. Rocky ride this year for Arsenal in the FA Cup. 2 down at Preston in the 3rd round. And then, of course, the replay against Sheffield United. And now, a goal in the last minute. This is Anelka. And Diawara's waiting here. Diawara! Well, it was Diawara that time. But it's Kanu's goal which has given Arsenal the edge here. And here's Parlour. To Vivas. Oh, Eranio. Bergkamp. And there it is. Arsenal, the holders, are through to the semi-final, and Derby County, having held out for 89 minutes, are eliminated by a goal from the Nigerian Kanu, who'd come on as a substitute and finally breached the Derby defence, although they appealed desperately for an offside, and Sturridge was sent off as part of the protest. It all ends well for the holders, but it ends sadly for Derby, whose game plan worked so well for so long. But in the end, they just couldn't hold out in the 90th minute. And Kanu, who made the headlines perhaps for other reasons in the last round, will certainly make them for the right reasons this time round. It's Arsenal 1, Derby County 0. Arsenal go off, still clutching the FA Cup, still retaining their hold on it. But Derby will be desperately disappointed.
Arsenal, a dramatic end to a fine contest. Surprised to win it?
Surprised, no, because I expect always my team to win the games, but Derby fought well, especially in the first half, and we needed to put all our energy into this game and to keep the spirit high, not to lose patience, and keep our aggression. It was not easy, it was very difficult, and in the end we could win it.
Do you have a cruel way to go out of the FA Cup?
Well, I suppose there's any other way than being cruel when you go out of it, to come here and defend for virtually 90 minutes or keep it a clean sheet, and then to get a goal, 53 seconds from the end, is a bit heartbreaking, yeah.
You knocked the ball about very, very well for a long periods of the game, but you failed to punish Arsenal. Is that where really you let yourselves down?
I mean, there's the problem we got during all season, no? We are not scoring as many goals as we want, as many goals as last season, and that's the only problem we got this season. We are one of the best defending sides in the league, like 3rd best defensive side, but we are, I think, 4th from the bottom scoring goals. That's the problem we got at the moment. We have to work out.
Connor looks very comfortable, a good player, isn't he?
I think our manager likes good players. Very, as I mean it like that, you know, kind of comfortable on the ball and the good passing, the good movers and intelligent players. That's what our governor kind of looks for in a player, and he typifies that, you know, kind of.
Your countryman, Daniel Amokachi, who's played in the semi-final. You're about to take the field in one very shortly. That must be very special for you.
And that's what I'm saying. That's true, because I want to win and win everything in my career, you know. So it's like I've won a few stuff, and yeah, if I'm going to be there and win the FA, it's going to be something great in my life.
Garth Crooks putting the questions. Arsenal don't look quite the same when Petit and Vieira both missing, but I suppose they did enough to squeak through. Did they deserve that victory, did you think?
Yeah, I think they did. I mean, with those two missing is always going to be tough. Particularly, it was a fairly rough, tough cup tie. First half, I thought Derby matched them all the way and perhaps had 1 or 2 of the better chances. There weren't that many in the first 45 minutes. Second half, Arsenal gradually applied the pressure. They're almost under siege for long spells, and it was just a case of whether they were going to hang on, and of course, in the end, they didn't.
Have a look at the Kanu goal for us. There was some question about perhaps
yes, I
handball
mean,
or offside.
was it a use of the hand or was he offside? I mean, if you watch him here, he backpedals and it does hit the midriff, and there on the turn, and it hooks it in from there, and the hands are going up. Is it for the handball or the offside? But you see again, front on, he's backpedaling into the edge of the 6-yard box, definitely in the midriff on the half turn. And actually, Russell Holt got a hand to it there, but the power of it took it into the net. Was it offside? That's Dion Burton at the near post. He's the one to watch because he comes out of the 6-yard box, then backtracks, and as the shot is hit, you can see he's the only one in the 6-yard box. So there's no question of offside. Even then, it looks as if he might have crept into that position. Certainly when the ball was kicked, he wasn't offside.
What do you think of Kanu as an all-round player? I remember seeing him at the '96 Olympics. He won a gold medal for Nigeria there before, you know, before the World Cup last year.
Yes, and then he had the heart problems, didn't he, which kept him out for a year or two. He's an unusual player, really, because he's quite languid, laid back and relaxed. But he did well today when he came on. He only had 25 minutes. You know, he's tall, slight frame, really. As I say, quite lanky and leggy. But here, you know, he's always looking and available. Got quite nice touch with the outside of his foot there, just flicks it out. As I say, quite as if he's in a practice match. When he loses the ball, he sort of handballs back. But again, on the half turn and just released. Everything he played in the last 20 minutes was simple, precise, nothing too intricate, and it kept Arsenal moving in their play. Just, you know, 2 touch there. It released Lee Dixon again. And he also got on the end of this cross, and for a big lad, you know, good balance. Clipped it to the far post of Dennis Bergkamp, just on the angle, then puts it into the side. Now, but he, you know, apart from the goal, he did help their creative play. And I think, you know, with him and Diawara, the squad is stronger than when we used to criticise it first half of the season.
Yeah. Bergkamp had a tough day, but he stuck at it, didn't he?
Yes, it was, well, Lee Carsley and him were just shaking hands throughout the 90 minutes. It's tough when you're man-marked like that. It was almost the Italian job, really. I mean, it's one of those where don't get involved in the game. I'll just concentrate on staying with you, and this is where they were for 90 minutes. And Bergkamp's, you've got to keep your sort of patience and temper. I mean, that looked bad, but he got the ball. It was one of those just
that was
letting
the
you know
calling
I'm there.
card,
yeah,
wasn't
that's right. And here, he did well in the second half. He started to push wide and push up front more, get in 1 against 1. When you get in the penalty area, then you can't afford to dive in on the tackle. Again, Vivas picked him out. He's the last man. He's 1 against 1. And again, Carsley's wary. I thought he did well in the second half, Bergkamp. And Nelka, good quick feet and off the post. But Stimac intercepted off the rebound. You thought they're going to hang on. But perseverance for Dennis Bergkamp. Here he is in the corner. Bundles his way, you know, past Carsley into the near post. Spencer Pryor and a Holt get it away, but in fact, you know, from that corner, that's where the goal came from. So he did well, because we've seen Dennis react in the past with 1 or 2 arm uses. He did well.
Arsenal through. Well, now we turn to the afternoon.
Sheffield Wednesday played very well in this game, and nobody better than goalkeeper Pavel Srnicek. He was tested time and again, here by the partnership of Kaba Diawara and Dennis Bergkamp. With 7 minutes remaining, Srnicek was on schedule for a well-deserved clean sheet. Then Dennis Bergkamp found a chink in the armour. Firstly, following Emmanuel Petit's free kick. Arsenal haven't lost a league game at Highbury. Sheffield's thoughts of a goalless draw, already in tatters, were shredded further 2 minutes later. This time it was the Duck.
Leeds FA Cup defeat by Spurs.
He's won an Olympic gold medal. He's played for 3 of life is very different. Kanu's learning curve began at the Dutch Academy.
In Ajax, it's like a school, you know, and it's like the place you have to learn a lot. You know, I came from Nigeria, and I was there for 3.5 years, and yeah, I learned a lot. It really paid, because if you're in Ajax, you have to be disciplined, you have to play to the system, you have to do a lot, you know. So if you're there, you know, it's like a school, you have to learn a lot.
Kanu graduated with honours, winning the European Cup in '95 and doing so with a young Mark Overmars. He wasn't to know then that their paths would cross once more in search of further glory.
I played with him and for 3 years, and yeah, then I have to leave the club, and yeah, finally he left also, and we didn't get in contact anymore. Yeah, but now we are back, and yeah, he's also helping me, you know, to tell me what's going on over here, and it's like everything is going better between us again, and we are playing together, and we're trying to, you know, get used to each other again.
The young Eagle left the safety of his nest at Ajax for the exciting challenge of Italian football in Serie A, following in the footsteps of Dennis Bergkamp, who, like Kanu, found for the first time in their careers competition for a regular first-team place overwhelming.
I always believe in myself, you know, and I have the confidence that I'm good. So it's like when I was in Inter Milan, we have a lot of players, and I know I'm capable, you know, of being in the first team. And but really, I have some little problems with the trainer, you know. So that's why I was not there. So for me, if I got my chance, you know, I have to utilize it. So when the time comes, and yeah, it's my time to be there, I'm going to be there.
While you're at Inter Milan, you had problems, heart problems. It threatened your career, didn't it?
Yeah, it's true, because then you know, it's like it's over and everything. But I'm a Christian and I believe in God. It's like I always pray and believe with my God everything is possible. So I didn't give up. So finally, I went to the hospital and did the operation, and I'm back again.
Eager to re-establish himself, Kanu leaves Milan and heads for the hustle and bustle of the Premiership, North London and the League and Cup champions Arsenal. No sooner does he arrive, he's faced with controversy in the FA Cup against Sheffield United.
I don't want to win in that way, you know. I just came to play football. The referee didn't disallow the goal, and that's why I say, yeah, it's better we replay it. But finally, we replayed the game and we won again.
Everyone is amazed in England that a man at 6'5" can be so skillful. Where did you get your skills from?
When I was little, you know, I was always playing with the ball and always, you know, doing all the tricks and everything, you know. And suddenly I'm big, so and I didn't lost anything, you know. It follows me, and yeah.
Those skills have brought him the sweet taste of success, and the Highbury faithful will be hoping that he blossoms in their attempts to achieve their third double.
Alan, people talked about Arsenal's principal weakness earlier in the season has been lack of strength in depth in their squad. He's one of the players that sort of amended that, hasn't he?
Well, that's right. I think he's a terrific buy. He's got lots of ability, a bit of pace. He's 6'5", so he should have a chance there. I think 10 years ago, that if you're a squad player, if you came on and did a job, that was fine. I think you've got to be better than that now. And especially if you get injuries, suspensions, if you're going for a double, loss of form, obviously Bergkamp and Elka will be picked before him, but if he can come on and give them an option, say 25, 30 minutes to go, as he has done, then
he's got a degree of unpredictability about him, Mark, hasn't he?
Yeah, which sometimes makes it difficult for the players playing with him, Gary, but I think he's one of those that eventually when he does get in the team, he'll be very, very difficult to take out of the side. And, you know, just look at his education, football-wise, Ajax, Inter, now at Arsenal with Arsene Wenger. And also I think he can play in either position. Either he can play the Bergkamp role or he can play as a lone forward like Anelka does for Arsenal.
Alan, people talk about United and the possibility of that treble, but Arsenal are going for something unique as well, back-to-back doubles.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's imperative that Petit and Vieira play. I mean, when you talk about the spine of a team, you've got Seaman, Adams, Petit, Vieira, Bergkamp and Elka.
Not bad, is it?
I don't think we're getting a game there, by the way.
And they've got no European distraction either.
No, well, that's what everyone say, blessing in disguise, concentrate on the league, but they just got that wrong, didn't they, in Europe. But certainly they've got a chance of doing it, and I think it's like Manchester United would be the team I would pick to win me a match, and Arsenal would be the team I would pick not to get beat.
I think they've got to have everybody fit
and
free from suspension, Arsenal.
We're still saying strength and depth then, not as strong as United.
No, certainly not.
Okay.